Welcome to Soapbox Psychologists.
It is our mission to make work, career growth, and teaming fulfilling, fun, fruitful, and more awesome. To do that, we gotta unbox, unstick, and buck paradigms, barriers, and socialization hand-me-downs that get in the way. And we have to challenge the way the psychology of work is perpetuated.
We invite you in to challenge, ignite, and excite together with us, your two Soapbox Psychologists.
Michelle Minnikin, the work pirate extraordinaire.
And the most awesome devil's advocate for talent, Elizabeth Lembke.
What are we going to talk about in these videos? We are going to be your agony aunts, so bring us your conundrums to tackle.
And we're going to be making the psychology of work accessible and meaningful as Soapbox Psychologists to do better.
As co-captains, we take what we know as work and cultural psychologists, corporate HR, island survivalists, and salty professional females to help shape, identify, and navigate together with you better routes through these stormy seas. Thank you.
Hey there, Michelle. I am so excited that today we're going to be talking about the Soapbox Psychologists, and I am Lizzie Lou Lembke, and you are...
Hi, Michelle Minnikin. I don't know if you're pointing. You're up.
And this is how we're introducing what we're talking about. Is there's humor. There's people who laugh at, and there's people who can enjoy their work, and it's not all about suffering.
Yes,
At
and
the same time,
we can be curious, and we can learn, and we can be wrong, and we can explore things and ask questions and don't know stuff.
And we can actually talk to people not as if they're specimens, but actually getting their point of view and expertise.
I love the fact that when I tell people I'm a psychologist, there's always one of two reactions. There's the in like over curiosity. It's like we're like Marmite, I think, psychologists. Either love us or hate us.
Well, I mean, but how could you not love us? Yeah, I agree. So I've gotten to say I have a red couch, and can we move forward in our conversation now, please? And no, I'm not analyzing you all the time. That's not what we're here for.
Oh, all my favorite comeback is, yes, I am reading your mind, and that's disgusting.
I love it. Okay. The other one would be, no, I can't. I really am not great at statistics. I know how at one point how to do a prognosis, a progression analysis, but now all I use are my world's tiniest tarot cards, and they get to me where we need to go.
I love that. I did multiple regression, whatever the hell that is nowadays, like 20 years ago, and I did my degree. I don't need to do that now.
Exactly. I was thinking the other, I'm like, what the heck is a Cronbach alpha? Apparently at some point I remembered that. Right
I knew what that was. Not a clue. Yeah. I can Google it if I need to know.
Well, and that's the thing is we can Google it if we need to know, and that not all of everything is going to be in a quantitative analysis. How are we looking at the qualitative? How are we understanding that some things emerge and paying attention to those things that are emerging?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're here today to talk about how many different words for our profession. We've got industrial organizational psychology, we've got business, we've got work, we've got occupational, we've got organizational. What have I missed?
Oh my goodness. Arbeits- und Organisationspsychologie, just to, just throw a German one in there. Arbeitspsychologie, IO, O or OD Psych. Yeah, you're right. That's a really great place to start.
Yeah, we didn't know what to name us. There's no consensus of what this is.
Yes, exactly. There's people who are at work, and there's a branch of psychology that studies people at work.
And careers.
Oh wait, that's one we also missed.
Career psych.
Career psych.
So yeah, apart from the fact that nobody can actually name us, it's like it's like calling a spade a spade. It's really difficult because we have different words for what we do.
And oftentimes what we get reduced to is the psychometrics or the assessment. And so we get called in when it's about creating assessment centers, when it's about creating personality tests for predicting future behavior. But when it comes to like job and work design, very rarely do we get called in. Maybe in the last couple of years, OD, organizational development as a field, has become more and more popular. But oddly, and I'd love to hear your point of view on this, a lot of the psychology out of work and occupational psychology is not being applied.
Nope.
We're back to Skinner.
And the Bobo doll.
Exactly. And we are here to say, work psychology, do better, be better, because we are better.
Yeah. And we're not here just to put a sticky plaster over a system that doesn't work. And I think we need to start again with how the profession can work and collaborate with other professions.
Hugely so.
And create better work for everybody, because the only people it serves are those people at the top of organizations who are, swanning around in their jets. It's so extractive. It's just gross. And we add to that. We should be designing better.
And I think that is that aspect of we have tons of studies that show the importance of fulfillment at work around how are people growing, how are they having impact, and what are the relationships, and how do we design for collaboration and really not stolps these designs onto people, but how do we really co-generate what works, what's not working. How many times have we in our corporate careers gone through organizational restructuring, business restructuring, etc., and how many times during those restructurings did we say, yeah, that's not a good decision, you need to do X. And how did that get heard? It was the finances. Okay, what are the easiest things to cut on? Personnel and training. So here, what can we do as organizational psychologists and people who've been there, done that, but also have that background? What's our responsibility as well as accountability for helping organization and those CEOs and the jets, and also the startups and anyone else who's looking to say, how can we have organizations that work for people and that the impact that they have really makes a difference? Yeah.
So tell me a bit about you, or tell people, anyone, the one or two people that will watch this. Who are you?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. So hey there. I'm Elizabeth Lembke. I am Chief Talent Navigator at Transforming Talent. I went independent after about 4 years ago, because this whole aspect of how are things thrown over the wall, and how are people actually enjoying where they spend a majority of their time, which is at work. How can we make life at work actually better? So that's been my kind of reason for existence. And it started out, the reason why I decided to study work psychology was after working in a factory, helping them prepare for a quality certification, how safety measures, if they affected the quality of the product, were immediately put into place. But safety measures that actually took care of the person, that took a lot longer. And so this whole piece around what is dignity in work, that was definitely the reason why I said, okay, I want to become an organizational work psychologist, to make life at work not only better, but fulfilling and joyful.
Brilliant. I did not know that about you. We missed that about each other.
See, this is the thing. We're learning about each other as we go. All right, there, Michelle. So what's your reason for going in?
So I initially wanted to be a forensic criminal psychologist, having grown up in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, and really wanted to understand why people do things that they do. I was like, and then there was this show in the 90s in England, 90s, it must have been, called Cracker. So Robbie Coltrane, otherwise known as Hagrid, was this very flawed forensic psychologist who worked with the police to catch serial killers. And I was like, I want to do that. So I rocked up to university, and actually, I think it was my first year I was studying psychology, then somebody sort of made me aware that that's not a job. People who catch bad guys in the UK are police people. And if I wanted to work with criminals, I would have to go and work in forensic psychology in a prison and help people who have who stop them reoffending. And I was like, that's like almost shutting the stable door once the horse is already bolted. So in a huff, I was like, right, bugger this for a bunch of bananas, and decided to join the army. And then I was doing my dissertation my third year, and I was looking at how much control somebody has over their working environment and how stressed they are. And I was like, oh, wow, this is fascinating. What is this thing? I figured out that this thing was business work, whatever, psychology. And I'm going to say that, try and say the word surreptitiously.
That word. Or what's that other word? I'll serendipitously.
Oh yes, you did it. That word. There was a course at our local university. First course, they needed some guinea pigs, and I was like, I'll have a go. So I did, and I absolutely loved everything about it. It was just so applied. Everything we learned we could use, and I was so excited to graduate, and then get slapped in the face by, but you're not in the UK. You're not a CIPD qualified HR person, so you're not allowed to touch our organization with a barge pole. So that was that was interesting.
Yeah, the barriers to getting things done is one of the key barriers of they've always been done this way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I left and started my first in a series of businesses in 2016. So
I love it.
Work Pirates is the business.
Awesome.
And I don't know whether we're allowed to swear on these things, even though it is our thing. I don't know why I'm asking you for permission. So
I think we'll be well established that there may be a little bit of cussing that goes on.
So Work Pirates, we're on a mission to unfuck work. So how do we meet?
Well, this is I had a stint for Our Circle. Our Circle was an initiative founded by Martin Dangerfield and Jim Beresford, and to basically challenge the way the world of recruiting and talent acquisition was done. And I was a guest on there. And then for some reason thought I would make a great host. And so I was the odd woman out for, it always kind of reminded me of the Muppets, those two guys that sat up on the balcony. So you can imagine that. And then Janice. So I was basically the Janice to their two old stodgy guys. Anyway, I digress. And so we were on a show, and Martin had the complete brilliant idea to invite the wonderful Michelle on the show and said you had to meet her. And I think we might have derailed a couple of conversations, but I think we also made sure that there was a little bit more impact, a little bit more saltiness, and definitely a lot more female power on that couch.
I think we were talking about how, I think it was something to do with change or something, and what people wanted. It was like, why don't we ask them?
Exactly.
Bloody obvious, but yes, I think
true.
we had some mindset.
The building, you can make all sorts of hypotheses, but you need to test them.
Yeah,
and you may be surprised because the problem you think they may have, they really could not give 2 cents about, and they actually have a much bigger concern about XYZ as a problem. So why don't we go after that?
I know. Yeah, stop doing things to people.
Yes, talking with, not at.
And yet we're just talking into the void that is the internet.
Yes. So there's that transfer of learning, which at times is hard, and it's that start to stop continue. And like Levine says, freeze, unfreeze, freeze. We're all about the thaw. You got to thaw. So yeah. So we may catch ourselves as so-called psychologists as we're thawing along the path.
Awesome. So what will people expect if they come along and listen to our ramblings? What will they get?
What will they get? Okay, excellent question. So why are we coming to the stage? Is twofold. The first one is to give an alternative opinion, and to also help fix the things around why we believe that IO psychology is broken, and really our true calling as to how do we help people's lives make their lives better at work, and what are the issues going on right now where work psychology needs to take a stronger stance, be not only part of the conversation, but leading the conversation, and doing this beyond academics.
Ooh, I love it. And hopefully our speaking up gives other psychologists permission to speak up too.
Yes, exactly. So that we can be not only a force to be reckoned with, but also change the nature of the conversation that pop things like, don't get me wrong, it's important to have a why and a meaning behind what you do with it, but don't just leave it plastic. Say, how are we actually changing our practices to create a learning culture? How are we creating practices where a work of meaning actually can happen? Because you can.
Yeah.
And we're here to help.
So we've got 1,000 ideas. And agony ants is one of those. So if you have a problem that you want just to bounce around with us, then give us a shout. We haven't planned on how people would give problems to us, but you can find us on LinkedIn.
Exactly. So find us on LinkedIn. So there's actually, to that point, there's a Soapbox Psychologist site on LinkedIn. So write to us there. You can also write to us on our YouTube channel and get a hold of us, because we want, exactly like Michelle said, we're going to be doing 2 parts, giving a perspective and an alternative point of view, and then also running these agony ants kind of open forums where you can come in and give us your, I'm just thinking of a really bad song. Got a problem, I'll solve it. Check out the ice while the DJ revolves it or something.
Ice baby.
And you'll know that with agony ants and us being those two, you're going to have some fun. You're going to have some fun while we address your conundrum.
So yeah, strap on in. Enjoy the ride. If you want to come and debate with us, we would love to hear from you too. So
yes, exactly. So because it is an aspect of be inclusive, be included, and move the conversation not only forward, but move the practice forward.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. See ya on the next. Wiedersehen. Soapbox Psychologist at your service.